Hi there guys, and welcome to another edition of Chalkin' with Babycakes. I'm here coming to you not so live, but I still wanted to be able to do a couple of pre-records, so I had them in the hopper there for you guys in the event I couldn't go live. So today I am doing another cabinet door. This is just a cabinet door I got from like a resale store. And we went and painted it this gray chalk paint, and then I put a sealer on it. So that's all it was. It's just a, I don't know what, 18 by 24 door or something like that. So this is what we're doing today. I hope everybody's doing okay out there. Comment below how you're doing and how things are going. So today I'm doing this this one. I really like this one. It's one of my favorites. It's Be Still and Know That I Am God. So I have my hair dryer over there because of course I don't have my words are hard, guys. I don't have my heat gun with me down here. So I have my hair dryer because I am going to do a little bit of layering, not a whole lot of layering, but just a little bit. So I chose this stencil, and it is fairly used, so I didn't have to fuzz it beforehand. But you know, if you get a new stencil out or a very, very sticky stencil, you want to fuzz it beforehand to make it easier to pull off, right? Then once you get your stencil picked out, you get it fuzzed really good, you place it where you want to on your surface, and then you take your squeegee and you want to make sure you get all the air bubbles out of there, because you don't want any air bubbles. The air bubbles will allow the paste to bleed through or whatever, and make it to where it's not as nice and crisp. So for the Be Still and Know That I Am God, I'm doing it in just straight black. And my black paste, it came this way. It's just a different consistency. It's really weird. Typically your paste, you want your paste to be a nice yogurt-like consistency. And I'm looking for a towel. There we go. A nice yogurt-like consistency. Ooh, this is popping up. There we go. So sometimes so what happened there is I noticed that the stencil popped up a little bit, and sometimes when your stencils are very well loved, they can do that. So you'll want to, especially the ones that have been used a lot, you'll want to make sure that you take extra care when you put them down. If they are losing their stickiness, you can still use them. You just have to be more careful, and you have to hold on to them, you know, when you're doing your squeegeeing. So now I was saying about the paste. The pastes are typically a yogurt-like consistency. And this one's a little bit thicker. It'll still work though. So remember, you don't need to paint or be precise with this. You just get a bunch of it, you slap it on there. I don't even know if that's going to be enough. But a little bit of paste does go a long way. And you just take your squeegee and you pull it down. And most of the time going especially if your stencil is not adhering the best, you definitely want to just kind of go one way. You don't want to go up and down, you know, vertical and horizontal. You just want to go one way, but you want to get very good even coverage. And then once you get all the even coverage, you want to take off all the rest of that paste and put it right back in your jar, because remember, you can reuse this paste for another project. A little bit of paste goes a very long way. So I'm going to take and throw this, because I have my water bath over here to my left. So I'm going to throw that stuff in there, and then I'm going to put actually what I'm going to do first is I'm going to pull this off, because you do not want to let the paste dry on the silkscreen portion of it. If it does dry on the silkscreen portion of it, one, it's going to be harder to get your stencil cleaned, and two, it's also going to be harder to, or when you pull the stencil off, when you pull the stencil off of your surface, it will cause the paste to come up with it. Now, I can tell, looking at this, that it didn't quite go down. It wasn't quite down all the way, even though I squeegeed it really good and tried to get it stuck on really good. But that's just because it's a more used stencil. It still looks fine, but you can see there's some shadowing behind it. But that kind of makes it look a little cool. So it's not like a total loss. Because remember, not everything has to be perfect. And that's what makes this unique and uniquely yours. It doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. And that's what makes it one of a kind. I mean, don't you always want one of a kind stuff? You don't want to go and do the big box store and get something that everybody else has. You always want your own little spin on it, right? So I'm drying this right now because I'm going to put a couple crosses on here. But because the crosses are going to kind of overlay, the stencil portion of it is going to overlay on the be still, on the wording, I need to make sure it's good and dry. And these, it does dry rather quickly. If I had like another project I was going to do on here, it would be easy for me just to set this aside, let it dry, do my project, my other project, and then come back and do this. And I do that a lot. When I do my mass chalkings, when I do my, you know, I'm doing a lot and prepping for a show, I will do that. Actually, let me pull this all the way out here. This is going to be the fun part. Okay. Now my crosses are very well used as well. And I'm going to do something kind of different with it. I'm going to do a dual layer on it, but I'm not going to do... Ooh. You see how that looks? How it looks weird like that? It's rather dry. So I'm going to get it stirred up a little bit before I put some water in it. And remember, you want to use distilled water, because if you use a different type of regular tap water or whatever, you could get molding in your paste. The other thing is you see I'm using a plastic stir stick. If you use a wood stir stick, you run the chance, I'm going to use this guy, of also cross-contaminating your pastes. I used to use wooden stir sticks because they weren't as flimsy or floppy as the plastic stir sticks. And I've had to throw away quite a few tubs of paste because they ended up like one got all moldy and it cross-contaminated some of the other ones. All right, so I just used a basic gray on here. I'm going to take my finger and dip it in this gold, shimmer gold, and go over the top of it in the shimmer gold, because I kind of want to do a different effect to it. I don't want the cross to be all gold. I just kind of want to get that in there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try not to mess this up too much. I'm going to pull that up. Oh, that does look really cool. So I'm going to try to use this again without cleaning it, guys. And yes, it can be done. You just have to be careful and quickly when you do it that way. So I'm not doing, you know how you squeegee it to get all the stuff out? as you can tell, I did not do that because it's already got some color on it. So this cross is going to look slightly different than the other cross, which is going to give it its uniqueness. So all I did was put a little bit more of the gray on this squeegee. Oh, sorry, you couldn't see me. I put a little bit more of the gray on the squeegee, and I'm squeegeeing it down. And then I'm going to take and put my finger back in here in this gold and get the gold going on this side too. A little bit. Now, obviously, I'm not going to put, I'll squeegee this down. I'm not going to put this paste back into the tub, into either of those tubs, because it's not going to be the right color. So until I get one of my, I typically have, and I should have thought about this beforehand, I just didn't. I typically have a little tub that I have out that I will use for, just going to clean my finger off here real quick, that I'll use so when I mix colors and stuff, I can squeegee it off into the tub and use it again at a later date. But I'm all done with this now. Just be still and know that I am God. Pull it back so you can kind of see everything. You see the two little crosses on there. So if you are interested, you can grab it today. It will be, gosh, I can't remember. I'll put the price in the comments. Okay, guys? But you can grab this either now or during my live sale. Remember, I'm going to have a live sale on April 18th. And April 18th at 5 o'clock. Be there or be square. I'll put the link for the live sale in the comments below as well. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Go out and enjoy some sunshine while you can. And stay safe and stay healthy. All right. Thanks, guys.